Hey guys, Youngblood with you. Now, what I want to do today is just cover the Gladiator spotlight that came out, and we're going to keep this pretty quick because they didn't give us a ton of new information. The description that came out, and there's a link to this in the description below the video if you want to actually see the whole article that TIG put up about it. But basically, it says that it's proof that a small ship can pack a punch, and they want to give you a way to kill cap ships in the universe. And they start talking about the Idris and the Bengal. I would not buy this ship under the assumption that if flying one of these by themselves is going to be able to do that job. It's not. It's a small ship. It doesn't have enough payload. It could probably inflict some pretty good damage, but don't walk away thinking you're going to destroy one of those things, because it's probably just not going to happen unless you've got just a derelict that's barely hanging on anyway. So, that being said, though, with this being a carrier-based ship, I kind of get the impression that this is going to excel in a group. Whether that be with fighters that are kind of escorting it in, whether that be with a group of more gladiators, I think that's where you're going to see these things be really successful. Now, the Gladiator has a two-man crew, and you're actually going to be locked into your seat. You're not going to be able to get up and walk around. And that's okay. It's a small ship. But because of that, we're actually going to see this in the hangar pretty soon. And it's actually going to be flight ready before things like the Retaliator and the Constellation, because of the fact that they don't have to worry about the animations and walking around the ship. So we'll see it between version 1 and version 2. Now, they go on in the description to mention that you can trade off speed and maneuverability for upgrade space. And they kind of specifically say to make it more suited towards an explorer or support roles like CNC. Well, both of those, Explorer and CNC, both seem to benefit from some form or fashion of radar and scanners. You need to be able to see what's around you, you need to identify threats, you got to be able to assign roles, those types of things. So something in that makes it seem like either speed related, or maybe you can sacrifice thruster positioning, or maybe it's just some sort of like, there's kind of this circular area, and you can probably see it in the video on top. Maybe you can put in some sort of dish there, but it makes your engines less efficient. I don't know what to expect, but I would assume that if they're talking about those sorts of roles, maybe there's upgraded scanning abilities the ship can get. Now, they talk about Explorer, and I can't really imagine a short-ranged carrier-based bomber making an effective Explorer. It needs, most of the time when you think about Explorers, you think about long-range ships that are going to go out to the fringe of the universe. With that in mind, though, I think it could maybe do some decent in-system exploring, kind of just depending on, what sort of things you can actually add to it as far as, like, the scanners go. We do know, though, that you can sacrifice the bomb bay and actually end up getting, or using it as cargo space. And if that's the case, then you've got yourself a pretty sturdy little cargo hauler. But I wouldn't expect it to be carrying anything massive and making you huge profits. But it should be pretty secure with the turret on the back, and just people seeing a military ship are probably less likely to engage. Now, they haven't really gone into much detail on what sort of weapons this ship is actually going to have, but if I had to venture a guess, I mean, we're going to have the Class 5 turret. It's going to be the man turret on the back. I think we're going to see a lot of missiles on it. We've seen images before with a lot of missiles on the wings. We know it's got the bomb bay underneath, and I would expect probably one nose gun up front. As far as the sizes go, it really just kind of depends on how they feel this thing needs to be balanced, and especially considering we know literally nothing about how maneuverable this ship is going to be. Things like that are also going to impact, kind of what the final stats are. But really, we don't know much about the weapons that are going to be on board this ship yet. The last thing to really note is, I haven't seen them say, like they did with the Retaliator, that it's going to come with the bomb bay, and it's just not going to include the torpedoes. I would assume it's going to follow that same line of reasoning, and we're going to have that available, but we're just going to have to kind of wait and see. That being said, I would say it's a safe bet that it's going to include that kind of more militarized, stock, just kind of based on what they're actually talking about this ship and what you can change it to be. So I would assume that if you're looking to purchase this, that it will come with that turret equipped and with the bomb bay, just no munitions on board. So overall, interesting little ship. I like it. I like the design. It's kind of a cool looking ship. As far as its usefulness, I think it's still probably a wait and buy in game, but a lot of people are intrigued by what the ship has to offer and are going to jump all over it. So, whatever. It's up to you guys. And yeah. So that's it for now. If you guys have different opinions or thoughts on it, let me know. I'm interested to see what you've got. Otherwise, stay tuned for more, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.